Hi everyone, welcome to COP3502 Programming Fundamentals 1, Fall 2022 Online. I'm Amanpreet Kapoor and I'll be the instructor for this course. I go by Aman and I'm an instruction assistant professor at the Department of Engineering Education and the Department of Computer and Information Science and Engineering at University of Florida. And I've been teaching this course for a while now, although this is the first version that I'm teaching with Python because we migrated from Java to Python starting summer, and this is actually my first time teaching the Python version. I'm very excited to have all of you in this course, and this is a course that is meant for students who have never programmed before or have never interacted with any programming language or a language that would allow you to interact with computing systems. So if you are someone who has substantial experience, there are more advanced courses that you can jump to, such as COP3504, and some more details will be provided to you very shortly. But about 70% of you, those who enroll into this course, have no prior programming experience whatsoever. So if you see some students who have prior experience and they might be answering a lot of questions, on course discussion tools, don't get intimidated. And our goal is to introduce you to computing, the power of computing, how you are going to interact with computing to solve societal problems. Also, just to learn programming in general so that you can learn different computing languages on your own and to give you exposure to the world of computing systems. I hope you are going to enjoy this course, and in this video I'm going to give you an overview of the tools that we are going to use along with the course logistics and policies. So let's get started, and I'm going to share my screen now. Give me 1 second. Okay, so once you are on a web browser like Chrome or Firefox, for those of you who are new to UF and who are just starting, all the courses are hosted on a web application that's called Canvas, and you can open Canvas by visiting this link, which is ufl.instructure.com, or on Google just do UF e-learning and probably the top page you'll see is for Canvas. Now once you are in Canvas, you'll see different courses that you are enrolled in the current semester, and you should see a blue icon with Java, C++, CSS and Python, something like this, along with the course code 3502, which is our course. Now, once you navigate into Canvas, this is how the home screen would look like. It might be a little bit different for you guys because you are students, and this is the instructor page. So the student view would look exactly like this. So the first few tasks that I have for all of you, which is the task for this week, we are not going to start programming this week, we'll start next week, which is starting Monday, is to learn about the different course policies, set up the tool chain and the setup for the programming environment, and read about all of the course logistics, which is, I want you to read about 2 pages definitely on Canvas. The number one is this home page, which is from here to here, and the other one is the syllabus page, which is right here. So you can see there are a few pages that are right here. So once you read them, you can get a sense on who we are. Like this page will contain the video that I'm recording. I'm going to update that shortly. But apart from that, you can read a little bit about myself. I have been a software engineer previously in industry. I also got my master's at UF, so I'm a double gator. I was actually exchange program student for my undergraduate, and then I did my master's. We are joined with an awesome course staff, which is consisting of undergraduate peer mentors as well as master's or graduate student graders who will be assisting you guys in office hours and grading some of the deliverables that you will be submitting. So right now you see 3 peer mentors here, which is Emily is the lead TA along with Zach and Karen, but there are 5 other peer mentors. They'll update this page shortly, and you can find their details here. Another thing to look for is there is an essential course, like we covered this one. There's a syllabus page which I just opened. Make sure you read this whole syllabus page. I'm not going to go over this in detail, But if you do not know how to navigate in Canvas, you can watch these videos. There are some net etiquette guidelines. If you want, you can read those. But the most important thing in this page is to read the syllabus, which is if you open the syllabus tab, or if you just click on the download file, it will download the syllabus. I want you to make sure to at least read all of these points from 1 to 20 that are absolutely mandatory, so that you get a sense of how the course is structured, which is the course will cover like it's meant for students who have no prior programming experience, and by the end of the course you will learn about different features of Python. You'll learn to read as well as write programs in Python, as well as debug, along with write even like some simple software on or games on using Python to solve a particular problem. Another thing is we are going to use a textbooks that's called Zybooks. How to actually sign up for Zybooks, you can go to this link, which is called learn.zybooks.com. So once you open this link, you can actually create a new account, which is on the top right, and then it will give you an option to sign up for the book. And when you sign up for the book, you have to use this code. Now, some of you might have questions on whether you should be buying this from the UF bookstore or directly from the website. I've heard that the book from the website is a little bit, from the Zybooks website is a lot, I think it's a bit cheaper compared to getting it from the bookstore. So probably just it would be wise if you can directly buy this book from there. So this is a mandatory book. Why? Because all the projects and the labs are integrated in the book. So if you do not buy the book, we'll not be able to access all your assessments. So you will have to take this book. The second book is called the Python Crash Course book by Eric Matz. This one is optional, it's not required. Another thing that is absolutely essential is that you should have a laptop or a desktop or some computing device where you can program, like which you can use for programming, and it should meet the requirements by the College of Engineering, which is the requirements are listed here. You can have a PC, a MacBook, a Linux based system, that's totally fine. But it's highly encouraged. It's not only encouraged, but you need a system, because otherwise you will need a system for more advanced courses. So probably it would be wise, if you don't have one, to get one. And probably think about, like, let's say if you don't have a system and you're going to get one, think about a system that would work for at least 3 to 4 years, and don't think about that's cheap and probably it would work for a year or something if it does not have the necessary configuration. So these are the listed requirements for the system. Make sure you read them and make sure your system complies with these. Another thing is the course schedule in the syllabus, which is we have roughly about 14 weeks throughout the semester. Some of the weeks we have exams, then there's a Thanksgiving break. There'll be a quiz and a lab that will be due every week, almost every week, starting week 2nd. And then there are some projects. There are 4 projects. The due dates are listed here, along with the evaluation of grades, which is how much grade, how much weight will be assigned to the quizzes, labs, and so on, which is there will be about 10 quizzes. You get 2 drops, which is Canvas will automatically drop your 2 lowest scores, or there are 9 labs and you get to drop 1. There'll be 2 exams and a final, and then there are 4 projects, which the first 3 carry about 8% and the 4th one carry 10%. This is the grading rubric, which is if you want to get an A in the class, you would have to score 92.5 out of 103 maximum percentage points. More on that later, but a lot of students get A, so don't get intimidated. You just have to put in the work, which is since this is a 4-credit course, you would have to spend substantial time, submitting or working on the labs and projects. Another thing is, like, let's say if you need a makeup exam, like we don't allow you makeups on the quizzes, but if you need a makeup exam, you will have to notify me in advance by about 72 hours. along with proper documentation on why a makeup is needed. A few other things, which is, since this is a programming class, if your code does not run in Zybooks or on your IDE or whatever, and if we can't grade it, you get a 0, which is we don't have partial credit. Like, since this is not like an essay based class or something, if your code does not work on a computer, you're going to get a 0. So make sure the code compiles and runs on Zybook. What is Zybooks? I'm going to give you a tour very shortly. Okay. The other thing is, all the projects and labs have a late schedule, which is like, let's say if you have something that you could not finish the project or lab for some so and so reason by the deadline, you can submit it up to 4 days late, and for each late day you'll get 10% penalty, and we count weekends as regular days. So let's say if you submit, like, let's say if the deadline is on Friday and you submit it on Saturday and your score is 90 points, we'll deduct 10%, which is you'll get a final 81 and so on. Okay. There'll also be labs that will be that are optional, but you are welcome to join them, and these will be led by undergraduate peer mentors, where you'll be pair programming, which is programming with another student to solve the weekly lab and so on. And they'll also review concepts. More details on that in the weekly announcement. Okay. Also, if there are grade revisions that need to be made, you need to let us know within a week after we have posted the grades. This is very, very important, which is the course communication policy, because this is an online asynchronous course. So most of the communication that will happen is going to be asynchronously, which is like, let's say if you have a question on the course, there are two primary mechanisms you can use. Number one is you can visit us in office hours, which are for you guys. Both peer mentors as well as me will be holding office hours, and we'll have lots of office hours. So whenever you are stuck on a problem, the best way is to ask for help is show up in any of the office hours. The second mechanism is we'll be using a tool called Slack. I'll cover a little bit about the tool. So you can post messages or your questions on appropriate Slack channels. Okay. And we would typically answer these questions in 48 business hours. Also, Canvas allows you to send messages, which is like, let's say if you are a student, you can use inbox function in Canvas. We have, like, me personally, I do not monitor Canvas messages. So let's say if you send me a message, I will not be receiving one. So again, I'm like just highlighting the fact that use Slack and not Canvas messages throughout the course, which is some of the students would be sending me messages throughout the semester and then asking me, why did I not respond? Because I did not receive it because I've turned it off. So we will be using Slack because we want to keep all the communication in one place. Another thing is, let's say if you have questions, highly recommend that you first visit a peer mentor or a TA before you reach out to me, because I'm technically right now teaching multiple courses and I have over 700 students that I'm working with. So I might not be able to help you directly. I would love to help you. You know, you can always reach out to me if something is not resolved. Feel free to do that. But again, if possible, first reach out to a peer mentor or TA, and also you can show up in my office hours, and at that time, of course, I will be able to help you. The last thing is about academic dishonesty, which is like, let's say if you plagiarize or use anything from Google or external resources, you are not allowed to use external resources for quizzes, projects, or exams. And we use tools to catch like cheating. So it's pretty easy for us to catch students. And technically, if you do something like copying code from external websites in a computer science related job, like let's say if you start as a software engineer and you do something like this, you can end your career and there'll be like lawsuits, and like it is absolutely unwise to use someone else's work and claim it as yours. So we do report students to honor code, along with we would reduce their grades to 0 for that particular assessment and 2 letter grade decrements, which is I think it should be stated right here, which is any student found to have violated these rules would be given a 0 along with a 2 letter grade decrement. So this always happens to 5 to 10% of the students, and I feel really bad reporting them. But again, this is kind of unfair to all the students who have worked on their own and have put in the work. So don't try to copy code from external resources. Again, lots of officers come to us and ask for help. Do not discuss it with others if possible, because if you do, you have a chance that you might be unintentionally copying some code from somebody else, and that will lead to trouble. So that's pretty much it about the syllabus. I hope you read the syllabus in entirety, and you can ask me any questions you have. Okay, so that brings us to the next thing, which is the course homepage. Like if you just navigate through the course homepage, you can see some more links. Another one is related to officers poll. So this is a when to meet that we want you all to fill. Why? Because we want to schedule the weekly labs. Since this is an asynchronous course, the labs will be scheduled based on your availability, which is we'll try to schedule at least 2 labs, and we'll also schedule more office hours when you guys are available. How when to meet works is you just type any name. We don't want your real name, so you can use any name if you want, like let's say if it is Q or whatever, and then you click on the sign in button, and then you select when are you available, which is like, let's say if you are available during this block, you can see like I can see Q here. I'm just going to select, like let's say if I select all of it, I see like the Q here or whatever. So I'm just going to unselect it because I'll let you guys finish this up, and then we'll schedule more labs. Another thing is there's an FAQ document that is curated, which is, let's say if you have scored some points on the CSAP exam, you can skip to another course, which is the 3504 course if you want. The next thing is the Slack link to join. So I'm going to cover this along with the other details of like how to navigate the course tools in the next video. Thanks everybody for joining.